Attorney General.
Yes, and I'm saying that once he had decided to speak, I just want to respond quickly. This Attorney General has no shame. The thing that is called shame is not with him. But you see, I am not surprised. The good book says, pride comes before a great fall. Let's proceed with this trial. And we'll see. Why has he not been able to file the affidavit in opposition? So have you thought about it?
He has not been able to file an affidavit in opposition to what you filed in court?
He asked a state attorney to respond to the allegation.
He didn't?
No.
But I said he was leading the trial.
He was doing what?
He's the one leading. That's why he said it yesterday.
He's a joke. He's such a coward. You know why he had refused to file? He's afraid of perjury. He's afraid of perjury. In all of this, have you heard him say, that is not my voice on the audio? Have you heard him say that?
No, not in the two statements he's made publicly.
So who is lying here? Who is lying here? Was it Richard Jakpa who called him? At least from the team. Who called who? Was he not the one who called Richard Jakpa? He is such a joke. If he's a man, why is he not responding to the specific things on the audio recording? Sena. You see, we are dealing with men without conscience. Right? We are dealing with men without conscience. If this Attorney General has any scintilla of conscience left in him, he should be resigning. But you wait in the coming days. Allah. I'm keeping everything to my chest.
I see.
We'll see who is the liar. We'll see who is manipulating things.
Because those are the words he's used against, and when he says some people, I'm guessing he's responding to the NDC, Mr. Jakpa, and Dr. Kiselato Forcing.
You see, these are people. The Lord Jesus Christ described them as whitewashed graves full of bones.
Whitewashed what?
Whitewashed graves full of bones. You see, when you go to the graveyard, it is beautifully dressed. But inside is what? Corpse, carcass, bones. He has no conscience. Like he will not be talking.
But
he has no conscience.
But he is convinced that the court's decision has shown that he is the righteous one. That's what he called himself.
That's why I said, when you paint a grave, does it change what is inside it? Sena? Huh? When you apply paint to a grave, does it change what is inside it?
Not at all.
I say no more. No matter how much paint you apply to the grave, yeah, I mean the grave, the stone, Does it change what is inside it? He has no conscience.
You said something will happen in the coming days. What is it? What will happen?
You say?
What will happen?
I don't want to. You need that surprise element. Let's wait.
But do you intend to seek a review of the decision of a court?
Many options are available to us, and all the options are on the table.
What do you make of the decision of a court in itself?
I do not want to comment on that decision.
But you clearly do agree that the judge's advice you have been taken by the Attorney General.
Why would a judge from 1992, have you seen any judge advise an Attorney General to disengage from any case?
Not that I recall.
Good. Does it not look extraordinary?
Yeah. In fact, the words she uses are quite weighty. In fact, she says, but I am of the respectful view that that is the Attorney General accusing himself, is one way of ensuring that the judicial process is protected and to gain public confidence.
And that to protect the judicial process, the sanctity of the judicial process. Do you know what it means? That is why I said this Attorney General has no conscience. He has no conscience. Even more importantly, no respect for the good people of this country. That is why he will go out there gloating. But like I said earlier, if you apply, listen carefully, if you apply white paint to a grave, does it change its content? So now,
no, not at all. But
go ahead.
But what do you say of his view that what the judge did amounts to dismissing everything that brought against him?
Senna, you still want me to comment on the ruling, right?
No, I'm asking you to comment on what the Attorney General said.
That is why I am saying that when I bring an application for mistrial, and the judge says, I have no legal basis, I've listened to the audio, but because it's a criminal trial and there's no statutory provision for mistrial, I will wash my hands. He said, the application to refer your conduct for an inquiry, I think another body is responsible for that. I'm washing my hands off. Pontius Pilate. How is that a victory for you? Huh? Senna, if I'm having a conversation with you, and in my conversation with you, I say, Senna, yesterday you asked me to take $200,000 from Patrick. I'm having a conversation with you. If you, Senna, never asked me to take $200,000 from Patrick, what would you say?
That I have no knowledge of what he's asked.
Exactly. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Good. Let all of us be guided by our conscience.
Would you go before the General Legal Counsel on this issue?
I told you a lot we are keeping to our chest, but everything is on the table.
Would we hear more tapes?
That I can assure you.
Oh, we'll hear more tapes.
That I can assure you.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Senna, if I come to you, I mean with you, right?
Yeah.
And you place a call to Patrick, and you give the phone to me to speak to Patrick, what does it mean?
The scenario again, you said if
I come to you, so I go to a judge's house.
Okay.
Right? And in the judge's house, the judge calls Patrick and gives the phone to you to speak to Patrick. We'll deal with that.
I see.
So that you, the one claiming that you don't know me, you've never had any meeting with me, we'll put it in proper perspective.
That the Attorney General went to a judge's house. The judge calls Mr. Jakpa and gives the phone to the Attorney General.
Let's see how it goes.
I see. Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us.
You see, he has touched the tail of a lion. Let's see how it goes.
Godwin Edudzi Tamakloe is Director of Legal Affairs of the National Democratic Congress. He's involved in this matter, so most of the times when we call him, sometimes he will decline, but this time he's chosen to have a short conversation with us on what the Attorney General has said. And in case you haven't heard what the Attorney General has said, let me play again for your, if you're just joining us. This is the Attorney General, Godfred Odame.
Judge herself, even after ruling, clarified that she has not given any such order at all. And that is only an advice. And what did you notice afterwards? I'm conducting the matter, I'm still conducting the trial. The most important point today is that all the applications filed by the applicants have been dismissed in their entirety. All the 5 applications have failed. And I think that in reaction to this, I would say that clearly shows there's a group of people in this country who ride on manipulation of facts, distortion, and deception of the public. They're always seeking to mislead and deceive the public. Today, they've been exposed. That is what I say. I leave the rest to my friends.
So now that they've been dismissed, all the applications have been dismissed, yes. How do you see this case going forward?
Well, today, when I was coming, I had a song in my spirit. Head of that chair. Please. We joyfully adore thee. And then it goes on. Precisely. Continue. I have to play to your radio stations.
Let's speak to Dr. Justice Ramsai. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Senna, and good morning to your listeners.
I hope you're well.
I'm very well. How about you?
I am also doing well. Congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you very much.
Do you still retain your old one, which is also in the academia?
No, I no longer. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations once again, and thank you for speaking to us. Have you had the benefit of reading the decision of a court?
Yes, I did. I read the decision yesterday. Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think the decision is a good one. It's a good one in the sense that the key issue which was in contention had to do with a prayer to the judge to, as it were, declare a mistrial and end the case. But the judge understood the prayer. In fact, when you read the judgment, the ruling, you would see that the judge even cited foreign authorities on the circumstances under which a mistrial will be declared. And she did admit that in other jurisdictions, this would have led to a mistrial. She also adverted to Ghana law on mistrial
And her research, as indicated in the judgment, showed that a situation where the misconduct of a prosecutor will lead to a mistrial does not exist expressly under our law, our criminal law, which I think is a correct conclusion. And I know the applicants, that is the lawyers for the accused person, were also aware of that. Their prayer, however, was for the judge to see the reasoning other jurisdictions declaring mistrial based on the misconduct of prosecutors, so that we could do that in Ghana, or more or less establish that principle in Ghana. The accused person's argument is a solid one. The accused person's lawyer's argument is a solid one. And indeed, our constitution provides for administrative officials, like the attorney general, like prosecutors, any state, anyone who is in public office, to act, in a fair, candid, legal, and reasonable manner, which is found in Article 23. The question, the difficulty with which the judge faced, however, was whether she has a jurisdiction to, read into 23 a misconduct of a prosecutor, and based on that determine the trial. I think, and I mean that is my personal view from where I sit as a lawyer. I think such reading into Article 23 can be done, but I doubt it will be done by a high court, because the Constitution doesn't allow any other person to do such a thing apart from the Supreme Court. So, to my mind, it is a question of interpretation whether reading Article 23 and the behavior of the prosecutor, in this case, Attorney General, could, be used as a ground for declaring a mistrial. And I think it's a question which only the Supreme Court could answer, because it will involve an interpretation of the Constitution. So the High Court has, I think has a good, the judge has a good reason to not venture into that, because even if she did, she would have ended up doing some interpretation of Article 33 or of the Constitution. And when she did that, chances are that it may be, pushed when an application is made to the Supreme Court to do so. And the Supreme Court will quash it not because the judge's conclusion is right on the merit of the case or not. It will quash it merely because the judge doesn't have the jurisdiction to do such interpretation or reading into the position. So when I read the judgment, I discovered that that was the main problem with that was the main challenge the judge had. From the angle I saw it, and I think I agree with her, they really didn't have that jurisdiction to do that. Now, what are the options? And I know the team for that you said, that's a very strong team of seriously minded lawyers who have extremely deep knowledge in the law. So I have no doubt in my mind that their next line of action would be something that would lead to would bring this matter to a logical conclusion.
In fact, I'm looking at Article 23 that you talked about.
Yeah.
The closing portion says, and persons aggrieved by the exercise of such acts and decisions shall have the right to seek redress before a court.
Yeah.
Or the tribunal.
The High Court.
But you're still suggesting that because a court or a tribunal, and you are saying if it is the High Court, then why does it still have to go to the Supreme Court?